Hey, and welcome to another installment of Catching Up. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Josh.
We're going host-centric again this week because we got a shitload of stuff to talk about. So let's just jump right into it.
Yeah.
Chris, Josh, you both saw, after kind of teasing about it a couple weeks ago on the show, you guys saw 10 Cloverfield Lane.
We did.
Yes.
And we both thoroughly enjoyed it.
Very much so.
Should we go into spoiler land?
I guess we could if you guys don't mind.
I don't really mind. I'm going to see it, but I don't really mind.
Yeah.
So, listeners, we will be talking at nauseum probably about 10 Cloverfield Lane. So, right off the bat, I would like to say overall, and I know Josh, I think he enjoyed it a little bit more than I did, but overall, 90% an amazing claustrophobic, just like bottleneck movie about three people inside a bomb shelter.
Yeah,
Great job building suspense.
Yeah, like if you ever want to see Doomsday Preppers, the movie, this is a really great example of it.
How does it stack up to Panic Room?
Different formula. I mean, they both can draw similar characteristics between the two. For claustrophobic in a tight space, trying to survive something, whereas one, you know what the actual threat is. The other,
From
you
the
kind
outset,
of, the other, you kind of are.
You can kind of guess.
You're drip fed information that you kind of have to take at face value.
That's actually really good word. I like that drip fed. Fed. It's very accurate.
Like one, you clearly know what's coming to get the people. The other, it's kind of like H.G. Wells.
War of the Worlds?
Yes, radio play kind of style.
That's quite perfect too. Yeah, I can't comment on Panic Room because I never saw it, but I think along the lines of how the first Alien movie or The Thing were very claustrophobic, and you had trouble more so with The Thing than Alien. You didn't really know what was going on. The biggest speed bump that 10 Cloverfield Lane had to get over, in my opinion, was the fact that Cloverfield was in the title. So you already went in with a mindset of, oh, it's going to be a sequel to Cloverfield.
Kind of like a Halloween 3 syndrome?
Yeah, where I wish this movie had been its own thing, and I totally understand that the reason why it got made was because JJ Abrams put that stamp on it. He was the one that threw money at it and made it happen. So I appreciate that. But had I gone in with no expectations, this movie would have been a million times better. Or rather, it would have continued. Like I said, I say 90% an amazing movie, and I feel like it would have been 100% an amazing movie. My biggest problem is that Mary
Elizabeth Weinstein.
Yes. When she so here's where the spoilers start, because I'm just going to jump right to the end of the movie. She gets out of the bunker 10 minutes before the end of the movie, and there's aliens, and there, it's it's pseudo, tied into Cloverfield because aliens and monsters, and she has this big boss battle where she uses a car and a Molotov cocktail to take out an alien ship,
just like John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah, just like John Carpenter.
Which is the last time I feel like we saw her.
Yeah,
but not like John Carpenter's Thing,
oh,
yeah. 2011 Thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, she's fucking in that movie. Yeah.
But so that's where it went a little too far for me. Still enjoyed it. I had a coworker that was just like, "This is the worst thing in the world. It's some shitty M. Night Shyamalan." She just went off, and I was, maybe it was because of what she said. Maybe it was because it was actually a good ending. But I didn't hate it. But
it was a sharp genre twist.
Yeah, it was. It gave me a nosebleed, not literally, but it
gave you vertigo.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was just too much. I think there was a perfect point for them to just cut to credits. She gets out. She's trying to start a car. She hears some noise. She hops up on top of the car to look over this corn rows, and she sees alien ships, and she's like, "Oh, come on!" And right there, I think it would have been great to just cut to credits, because it would have continued the theme, the tonal shit, all that would have just maintained and would have been fine. And I've heard a couple people come out of the theater being like, "Oh, I can't believe it was Alien," whatever. saying that it was like a twist ending or whatever. It's not a fucking twist ending because like the entire movie, John Candy. Or not John Candy, John Goodman.
From the grave.
Yeah, right. Posthumously. John Goodman is like saying, like you're meant to believe he's like some conspiracy theory, not that he's crazy, but he's talking about how we've had an alien invasion and like this is what's happening and this is what's going on, and like you think you're hearing cars driving around over above the bunker, and he's like no that's alien ships coming looking for survivors to kill off the last the last remnants of humanity, and it does a really good job of like he totally believes it. But because none of the other two characters don't have any proof, like they're just assuming that it's cars. So you, the audience member, believes that they're cars, and then she gets out of the bunker, and you realize that John Candy was right all along, and like it's just
Goodman.
God damn it! I really want it to be John.
I was
Candy,
gonna let
guys.
it go, but I was like,
To be fair, me too. Then he'd be back.
Yeah, John Goodman was right all along, and like I think it's a beautiful. Reveal. I prefer to use the word reveal because it is something that was set up. A twist is something that you didn't see coming. So like it was like Clue. You had all the different possible outcomes, and then this is the one that was right.
Yeah, it wasn't like actual Sixth Sense ending.
Yeah, but so that being said, it like I said, 90% an amazing movie. You have no idea whether John Goodman is
Candy.
Like kidnapped these people because he has some weird torture fantasy where he turns Mary Elizabeth Winstead into his daughter because you think that he's done it before with someone else, and then like his family is like out in Chicago, but you're like, wait, did he murder his family? And he's just saying that they're out in Chicago.
It sounds like it's like if that moment in War of the Worlds with Tim Robbins was like a whole movie and really good.
Yeah,
Remember, I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
So Josh, you know what I'm talking about.
Did you know that's the highest grossing Steven Spielberg film?
Really?
Unless you adjust for inflation.
Wow.
I would adjust for inflation. Granted, I've never seen it, but like I don't want that to be his highest grossing film.
It's fine.
It's an okay movie.
It came out during the summer of Batman Begins, so it just got annihilated by the fact that Batman Begins is just.
And I think it also at the height of like not popular Tom Cruise.
Right.
Oh yeah, like it. The whole beginning of not popular Tom Cruise, I think, started during that.
Either that or Mission 3.
Mission 3 was that.
Which is a shame.
I did feel like it followed the formula of the radio play very, very well in film form.
Yeah.
It's like it used it as a script.
Well, I mean, because it's a remake.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
one that came out before.
They've done it several times.
Yeah, there's the first cinematic adaptation of War of the Worlds is like in the 50s.
Yeah.
And then there have been, plenty of parodies like Spaced Invaders.
Yeah, they've got the Technicolor eyes in the 50s.
But yes,
They turn into like skeletons before they.
Josh, is there anything else that you want to add to my review?
I mean, I'm glad that JJ Abrams saved the original script for this, what this project was. I understand why he Cloverfield it, because when he was trying to create the sequel for the original Cloverfield. A bunch of other films like the Godzilla reboot, Pacific Rim had came out, and he was like, well, shit, I don't want to do the monster anymore.
Yeah.
So he kind of did this as a way of, like, expanding upon the universe, so we don't know if it's, kind of like Twilight Zone, where it's, like, similar within, like, a Cloverfield universe, or if it's, like, another version of the same invasion, where, like, the monster that hit New York was, like, a
scout,
or like
that.
or like a weapon thrown at the earth, and this here was like the beginning of the actual invasion force.
I would love for it to, like, I hear they're already working on a third one,
which will try and combine the two.
Rumor is that it is going to bridge the gap in some way, which would be cool. I would totally be fine if like he started trying to do kind of like an anthology series where like each one is similar in mood, suspense, or whatever you want to call it, kind of like what the Twilight Zone episodes did. Like all of them felt like a Twilight Zone episode, but there was really no continuity whatsoever except for host segments.
Yeah,
and even then, like, it wasn't like, oh, you saw last week that this happened. Well, this week this is going to happen.
Yeah, like one where you have like a monster be thrown at a monster be thrown at the people. The other, like, how does humanity within confined space deal with an actual invasion? The third could be, I guess, maybe living with the
humans
aftermath.
Are the monsters?
Yeah.
That was a very Twilight Zone thing.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Monsters in Maple Street.
Yeah. Eye of the Beholder.
Yeah. I mean, last week I kind of revealed how big of a Twilight Zone fan JJ is. He's got the end title credits for in Bad Robot Studios. So yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I know I certainly intend to check it out on that and Zootopia because I have a free Tuesday, so I might finally check that out.
I still recommend Zootopia.
I'll try to knock out both, really.
Yeah. I no longer recommend Good Dinosaur, by the way, guys.
Did you rewatch it or something?
No, I just thought about it again. Like I had put it out of my mind, and then like the other day, like I think after our review of Zootopia, I was thinking about it, and I was like, that wasn't that great.
I mean, Jake is the one that hated on it the most.
Oh my god, yeah. His opinion helped inform my new opinion a lot too.
Well, he went from the okay dinosaur to the no good, terrible, fucking awful dinosaur.
Well, it's really funny.
Starring Steve Carell.
Yeah, it's funny. One of the nights I was at the bar when I was downstairs, a guy comes up to me and goes, "Jake Bozick," and he gives me a big bear hug. And I turn around and it's a buddy of mine that I'd seen probably since high school, so over 10 years. And I'd known since 4th grade. And he's like, hey, man, I've listened to your podcast. What good movies are out, man? And I was like, well, nothing. Like, I mean, I couldn't really think of I haven't really seen anything recently. I was like, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. And he's like, oh, I rented The Good Dinosaur with my wife. It was fucking terrible. All right, man, good seeing you again. And I was just like, well, at least we got that passed. I was like, yeah, man, that movie was garbage. Total garbage.
I think I was just in a very sentimental mood the night that I watched it, and it tugged on a couple heartstrings.
What's funny,
I'll finally bring over Inside Out so you can
Thank you.
Oh
yeah, so I can have a good cry.
Well, it's funny. I watched The Good Dinosaur right after we watched the Blue Santo or the Blue Demon, and when we saw that at the Alamo,
Blue Demon.
Yeah, and I didn't think we were
Contra La Monstros or whatever.
I didn't think I was going to make it in time, so I drove over, and I know Josh and Sam were going. I was like, "Hey, let's go see it." And then I watched it. I was like, "It was terrible,
terrible."
Yeah, it was just Play-Doh dinosaurs.
Well, like I said, I remember the first thing you said when we were walking out of the film was just like, "Well, I did not like that one bit."
But enough about The Good Dinosaur.
Yeah, enough of that airtime.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Also, real quick about The Good Dinosaur. The cover, I saw the cover for it where it's like the Play-Doh dinosaur with a little cave baby on his nose. It's terrible. I hate it. It's just... Yeah.
All the best parts of me are in you and more.
Just die in a river already, dinosaur.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah. Fucking long neck.
Okay, how about this? Speaking of things that Jake and I have both seen.
I know where we're going.
Something came out.
Things we're talking about.
Yeah, right. Something came out this past week. I think Jake and I are the only ones that watched it out of the four of us.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, a Netflix original. Mm-hmm. Pee-wee's Big Holiday. As a huge Pee-wee fan growing up, I watched Pee-wee every day. I'm old enough to have been watching Pee-wee on the TV as it aired versus just watching it in reruns or whatever. I would watch that every Saturday or whenever it came on. My mom got me the VHS tapes when they started pumping them out. I have Big Adventure and the Christmas special on DVD. And I even did a report on Pee-wee in general in film school. While I was in college, I did a report and did the whole gambit from him inventing the character Pee-wee all the way up to him getting arrested for indecent exposure and beyond. So I'm in it. Yeah. I guess out of everyone that we know, I'm probably the best source of knowledge for Pee-wee stuff.
I would say that's fair.
Not necessarily a proud thing, but
don't be ashamed of it.
Tell me you have a Pee-wee suit somewhere, and you just go around the house.
It's not like you committed the crime.
Yeah, right.
Right, yeah, right.
Although I will say, I read a little because it's
if you want the facts, come and get me.
Well, I had read a little bit about the creation of the character because I'm always fascinated in that. When someone, an artist or comedian or musician or actor, anybody creates something, and this idea that this character took over his life.
Yeah, like Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah,
Because that's a character too.
And how exhausting.
Dropping bombs
how
on the Geek Out show.
How exhausting it must be for Paul Rubens to be Pee-wee, though. Because like watching the movie, he is full 110%.
Which, for better or for worse. But so my quick review of Pee-wee's Big Holiday is so Joe Manganiello is in it, playing himself. Whenever he is on screen, it is 100% like an amazing movie. Like I think Joe Manganiello just like poured all of his heart. Like I feel like he and I are probably like on the same level of like Pee-wee love, and it really shows.
Do you know how that came about? Did he just say,
no
"Hey,
idea.
I want to be in this"? Or?
I have no idea. I should have done some research.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
I mean, I'm assuming it's something as simple as he loves Pee-wee, and he was like, "Hey, I heard they're making a movie."
Maybe he's friends with the who was it? Paul Rudd? Apatow?
Judd Apatow.
Judd Apatow. Maybe he's good friends with Judd Apatow.
Maybe.
Maybe he's friends with Paul Rubens.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe. Has Paul Rubens been on True Blood?
I did not see Paul Rubens on True Blood.
No. Was he in Magic Mike?
He was not. I never saw the first one.
Is he going to be Aqualad?
He's Aqualad.
Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, as Pee-wee?
Yeah. Not Paul Rubens as Aqualad, but Pee-wee Herman
as Aqualad.
Yeah, but so
basically looks like him.
Yeah, right. So Joe Manganiello being in the movie was like the greatest thing that they could have done because it's perfect.
Yes.
And he and Pee-wee have great chemistry together.
They do.
Like they look like buddies.
Well, he's also it works kind of like the twins thing where like one of them's a massive stud guy and the other guy's a Pee-wee Herman.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Joe Manganiello is totally fine and loves making fun of himself and playing for the comedic stuff. I mean, he does it in Magic Mike 2, that scene where he dances.
I wouldn't know because I haven't seen it.
In Magic Mike 2 or XXL, he like does that scene. I think you post on Josh or somebody posted on my wall where he like does a dance in like a convenience store to try to get the attention of the clerk behind the, so he knows how to make fun of himself and have fun with it. Yeah. And that clearly shows in the Pee-wee movie.
The rest of the movie, on the other hand, is a weird mix between like wonderful, like well done nostalgia where I'm like, oh hey, that's a reference to Pee-wee's Big Adventure. That's a reference to Playhouse, Big Top Pee-wee, and they have actors from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Does Cowboy Curtis show up?
No, unfortunately not. But as someone who's such a wealth of all knowledge for Pee-wee, I can't remember the characters or actors' names to save the life of me. But in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the waitress who wants to go to Paris, she's in the movie. Her boyfriend Andy is in the movie. Like they both have bit parts of just people that he meets along the way. I'm sure there's other ones that I missed or I'm not remembering right now, but like lots of little things sprinkled in there.
Yeah, that's something I missed not growing up being a Pee-wee fan. I remember watching and going, I wish I was watching this with Chris because I could have been like, I feel like that's something.
I mean, we basically were.
I feel
because
like
I kept snapping you.
Well, here's the thing. Here's how I got onto it because Pee-wee's a fixture of all of our childhoods, whether you really watched him or not. I mean, he's there.
Yeah, he's there. We are the perfect age for him to be a part of our childhood somehow.
When I started watching the movie, the Netflix movie that we're talking about, I was like, I never knew I missed a character that I never watched before more in my life. Because like he came on screen, I was like, hey, it's Pee-wee, And I was also, I never have been more annoyed and loved the guy at the same time, like the Pee-wee thing. But that's part of the charm of it, the kind of goofball thing. And yeah. Well, yeah. What is that? What is that? There's one line he keeps saying where he's like, "It's been real and it's been fun, but it hasn't been really fun." And
or let me let you. See me later or something like that.
Yeah.
Some weird way of saying I'm gonna leave, but it was like let me let you show me out or something along those lines.
But he's got like three different voices, and my favorite is like the kind of the surfer dude voice he does. He's like, "Thanks for coming,"
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. When he first sees Joe.
By the way, I do a pretty good Pee-wee impression, guys. What's really weird is I went to school with a guy who kind of sounds like Pee-wee Herman, but he talks like this. And Zach can back this up. Zach and I would have like impression offs where we would just talk like that guy, and he talked like this, and then we realized that he talked kind of like Pee-wee Herman.
I feel like we have to have another thing where we just the rest of the episode is impressions.
So you're gonna do Sylvester Stallone again, and I'm just
Well,
gonna do Pee Wee
I
Herman.
gotta try to think of like another person that's not Stallone because you're not doing.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not doing Jesse the Body
Jesse.
Butcher.
And your Pee Wee is fucking spot on.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. That's my name. Don't wear it out.
I was really upset that he didn't say that in the entire movie, but especially since the girl maybe from Arrested Development is in it, and her character's name is Pee Wee.
And
like I was really hoping that at least at one point, like near the end of the movie, where they're saying their goodbyes, like they had this little exchange. They were like, "Here, I want you to have this," and she's like, "I can't. It's yours. It has your name on it." And he's like, "It has your name on it too." and I really want one of them. I didn't even need it to be Pee Wee, but like one of them just be like, "Okay, don't wear it out," or something. Some sort of reference that like it would have, been the cherry on top. But yeah, so half of it is nostalgia gold. The other half is just so fucking awkward to watch because you're like, this dude is like in his 50s,
early 60s,
still playing this character, and like more power to him. He's still making money. I watched it. I enjoyed it. Like it's not like this is so depressing for him, but it is so awkward. Like just seeing him play this character
30 years later.
Yeah. It'd be like watching Larry the Cable Guy still being Larry the Cable Guy in another.
Doing heartburn ads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, by the way, sidebar, I cannot wait for him to start doing other characters.
I think he can't wait either.
I hope.
Yeah, I hope he does other characters. He's not country at all.
No, he's got a college degree too.
I mean, but from the University of Nebraska. Oddly enough, I did some research on Larry the Cable Guy last night because I was talking about him with one of my coworkers.
Sure.
He was like born and like first decade or so of his life, Nebraska. So okay, fine. He's a Cornhusker. He's a little country. Went off to Florida, came back, got his degree from University of Nebraska, same college my dad went to.
UNL? University of Nebraska in Lincoln.
Is that what it is? I don't.
It's the one in Lincoln.
Okay. All I know is it's University of Nebraska.
Okay.
Cornhuskers. That's
UNL.
Okay, sure.
I love their football uniforms.
When my dad went there, they were known for their wrestling.
Right on.
I think they probably still are. But anyway, so yeah. So he's a Cornhusker, sure, but not really. He's not a redneck.
But
taking him to task. I'm like
just like David Cross.
I feel like Joe Rogan calling out Carlos Mencia right now.
But go. What are you gonna say? You got anything?
No.
Okay,
you got it.
All right. But yeah, enough of old Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah, right.
No, but you'd sent me a Snapchat of like, Joe. Well, first of all, you're like Joe Manganiello plays himself.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, interesting. As I'm watching Daredevil, which we'll get to, but in the middle of you send me a snap that's a slow. It's not. It was slow mo in the movie, and it's like a crazy dream sequence of fireworks in the background,
which is very reminiscent of Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Okay, and he's giving Joe Manganiello a present. And he opens it up, and it's a suit.
Mm-hmm.
Pee Wee suit, and they're both wearing suits like on a unicorn or whatever, and someone going, whoa, and like I was like,
all of it's in Spanish too. All the dream sequences are in Spanish,
and so I was like, I have to at least get to that part. I have to watch this movie now. So I finished a couple episodes of Daredevil, and the perfect way to wash down some Daredevil is to watch Pee Wee's Big Holiday. And yeah, it was enjoyable. I mean, it was pretty weird.
Is it kind of like a spiritual successor to Big Adventure, like a road trip kind of thing?
Yeah, it basically it was. You remember the Chris Farley and David Spade,
Tommy Boy
and
Black Sheep?
Yeah, how they were like basically the same movie.
Yeah,
but had no reference to each other.
Right.
That's what this is with Big Adventure and Big Holiday. I'm going to go ahead and say so. Yeah, spiritual sequel, spiritual successor, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, the same type of movie. He does have to go. He has to go Fairville, where in no name state. The U.S.
I do like when he points it out on the map. He's covering up where he's pointing it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm here.
It's
and
like
get here.
It's like Springfield on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And he has to go to New York City, which is cool because they actually shot in New York City.
I like the song they sing. Like when they were talking about like there was one like tourist attraction thing that they were talking about in New York when they're like, well, that's Times Square, and they make a joke.
Some tourist thing.
Yeah, that thing. And I remember I was like, I feel like Chris would have loved this part because it's like very like New York and like that's not that doesn't make sense at all. And like they're just singing the song and Pee Wee's like singing back with the narrator about being in Grand Central Station.
I kind of want a team up with Pee Wee Herman and Andrew WK.
That would be great.
I think that's like apt.
Andrew WK, we're calling you out.
Yeah.
I mean, not calling you out, but putting you to task. I don't know. We're requesting that you team up with Pee Wee.
Follows me on Twitter. I'll see what.
There you go.
Rob Zombie worked with on Pee Wee's Playhouse. Like that was one of his first jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Get him in they should have a Rob Zombie directed Pee Wee movie. Or just Pee Wee in
House of 1,000 Pee Wee.
Yeah. Did you have Devil Pee Wee in the movie with his hair and like devil horns in the end?
Nice.
Remember when he's like he's what is it with the matches when he's in the hole?
Yeah.
And he sees like Lincoln and the Queen.
Yeah.
He's like one more match and it's Devil Pee Wee. That only makes sense for people who saw it.
Yeah.
But as a non Pee Wee fan or someone who's really I've seen the Pee Wee's Big Adventure and I think some of the.
Have you seen it as an? Did you see it as a kid or as an adult? Big Adventure.
More kid, like teenager.
Yeah, okay.
So
I would be interested to talk to someone who never saw it as a kid.
Mm.
Like I had an ex-girlfriend who never saw Labyrinth as a child, and she saw it as an adult, and she was like, "Fuck this movie! It's a piece of shit."
The nostalgia is powerful, man.
Yeah.
That's the one thing we know on this podcast.
The only I didn't
Dan Harmon too.
Yeah, I didn't watch Labyrinth until I was a teenager, and yeah, for me, it's like anytime David Bowie isn't on the screen, it's like, well, I'm good.
It's what's interesting. I was more into Jennifer Connelly than David Bowie. I mean, naturally, I remember loving that movie as a kid, but now, like as an adult, I'm like, like it's all right. Like it had its time for me, and its time was back when I was a kid.
It's better than Dark Crystal, which is the other big Jim Henson fantasy film.
I haven't seen that since I was a kid. I don't think. Yeah.
Now the other. The other big Netflix show, of course, or exclusive, was season 2 of Daredevil finally came out. We're not going to go too heavy into it because we all haven't. None of us have actually finished it.
Yeah, I remember. I feel like when the first season came out, like I think Josh and Chris had finished it.
I hadn't finished it by our first episode, but I was. Josh banged it out. I want to say,
yeah, he did,
and like he was ready.
That's the Josh talent, right?
He was ready to talk about it right then. I was like, I'm halfway through it. And then, like, I finished it up, like, the next day.
Right.
So, like, by the time our episode aired, I could have talked about it at length. But, yeah, it wasn't until, like, the following week that we did it. And going to be the same thing with Season 2. So, feel free to listen to the rest of the episode and not worry about Season 2 spoilers if you haven't finished it.
Yeah. I mean,
I've only watched one episode.
Yeah, so you've seen, I guess this is the only spoiler you'll probably hear about Daredevil Season 2 on this episode is, so at the end you see the Punisher, kind of.
Mm-hmm. You're not properly introduced to him, but, knowing what I know about the show, I know he's the Punisher.
But, yeah, unlike Season 1 where it was a slow burn to Fisk, this one wastes no time dropping in action, adventure, and characters, really.
Yeah, it's kind of like, hey, we've advertised this is Daredevil versus the Punisher. Here's the Punisher.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does I call it the Batman 89 effect, where, like, every superhero thing that I love starts off with, like, a random act happening and the good guy just kicking ass in the shadows, and it's like, oh, yeah, it's Daredevil. And it does that. I mean, like, boom, you start off right off into Matt Murdock. Kind of having fun as Daredevil, which is something that I feel like because Season 1 was so good and so grounded and so excellent and fantastic and wonderful, all those things, it allows Season 2 to move seamlessly into Matt Murdock having a little more fun. Like, he's still dark and he's got tortured stuff, and can he have a happy ending kind of thing, but
pay extra.
You get to see him smile where he's beating up bad guys, and that's pretty sweet. And I think as great as the Punisher is in this season, and he's fantastic and he's a wonderful thing, like, I hope people aren't forgetting, like, how good Charlie Cox is as Daredevil, because I think he is just continued his perfection as Matt Murdock from Season 1 into Season 2 even more so. And again, even unlike the MCU guys, he's had 13 hours up to this point before season 2 to get you to know the character. So this dude is living in that suit, lawyer suit and the devil suit.
I feel like we've had more Charlie Cox and Daredevil, than we've had for half the other MCU guys at this point.
Yeah, with all this combined runtime.
Oh, definitely.
Except, like maybe the exception of Iron Man.
Yeah.
But even then, that's probably still only 8 hours.
Yeah.
3 movies, 2 Avengers movies, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he does a really good job. Can I just four words to kind of to talk about the premiere? Worst Irish mob ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed. As someone who just survived St. Patrick's Day in an Irish pub, I have to agree.
I put a 5-letter word for them. Most stereotypical Irish mob ever.
They don't really have accents.
There's a couple
I did not know that they were an Irish mob until someone after they were all dead was like, "Oh, the Irish mob's been hit."
I mean,
Really?
the drinks that they had, and then the Irish flag hanging in the background. I was
and the fact that I think
have-
it's like Jameson going around the mall.
It is, but again, accents.
Really, you?
I didn't
None
detect.
of you guys?
I didn't detect a single
It was
accent.
very faint.
maybe
Well,
there's
it wasn't thick.
I might be thinking of a
Irish.
character later on that's Irish. Then
Yeah, I know the one you're thinking of.
yeah, maybe I'm confusing the two.
Is it-
Either way, they're dead Irish mob in the beginning.
Is it
Yeah.
Colin Farrell as Bullseye?
It is.
No.
Wipes the sweat off of his stupid head.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's
catches broken stained glass.
That would have been
Pizza Man.
hilarious if he
I
was
kinda-
one
I-
of the mob members.
I kind of also want to rewatch the Ben
Oh.
Affleck Daredevil.
it to totally.
it's not a bad movie.
No, if you watch the director's cut, it's great.
Director's cut's pretty good.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, shit, I need to find the director's cut.
yeah.
I mean,
It's
it
You
still
get
has
Coolio.
Readily
still has
available.
dancing Daredevil with Elektra on a swing set.
But it's not as offensive as that weird pigeonholed love scene thing that adds half an hour to the movie or whatever it is.
Also, there's Evanescence. It's still basically Evanescence music videos.
Yeah.
There's 2 or 3 Evanescence songs. If we're gonna,
That's what mute's there for.
yeah.
That's the best Amy Lee impression I've ever heard.
Well, it's the
I know.
the other fucking dude.
Yeah.
The guy from that Christian rock band
Yeah.
that no one remembers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something Stone, I think.
16 Stone?
Something
No,
like
that's a Bush
Sam
album.
Stone.
Well, no, I think the band's name was something Stone.
Yeah, it's something Stone.
Stone Sour.
If only.
No, not that bad.
It would have been great if Corey Taylor was the guy singing along
Yeah, just that fucking huge neck that he has.
Yeah, but I was
in Mask.
what I like about it is like you guys were saying, there is kind of we've gotten the setup out of the way. We've seen Daredevil's origin. Let's just
Oh, I thought you were still talking about the movie.
the movie. I mean,
No, let's keep it on with the
yeah, because there's some good stuff in the movie.
yeah.
Yeah, there's some great stuff in the movie.
Yeah. Coolio. Yeah. Jon Favreau as Foggy. Actually, I like their rapport as Foggy and
Have you seen the
quite a bit.
director's cut of Punisher, the Thomas Jane Punisher?
No.
There's some
It's
added
what
stuff.
happens.
12 Stones.
12 Stones.
I don't entirely
Anyone that
remember.
still wants to know who the guy. You know what? I should have looked at what the guy's name was, but he was in a band called 12 Stones.
Gotcha. It's sad that I knew there was a Stone name in there somewhere.
Get out of
I don't remember entirely what happens in the Punisher director's cut. I feel like there's an added subplot with I just remember there's one point where I think Thomas Jane talks shit about the Yankees, and I always thought that was funny because he played Mickey Mantle. But he's just like, yeah, I hate it when the Yankees win the series, and I was just like, you played Mickey Mantle, you fuck you. Although I think he's a Cardinals fan in real life, so good for him. But
I
either
hate
way,
to break this to you, Jake, but actors don't play themselves. When they're in a different movie.
Joe Manganiello.
yeah, I don't.
I'm sorry. That's not the wording that I meant. It's
Or your Affleck in Gone Baby Gone.
the characters that actors play don't seamlessly tie together in each movie that they're
I
in.
don't understand what you're saying to me.
When he played Mickey Mantle,
Yeah.
it was just for that movie. He's not Mickey Mantle in The Punisher.
That's weird.
It's okay for him to not like the Yankees.
What if Mickey Mantle was the Punisher?
Ooh.
Although-
to baseballs,
He
that dude
punishes
was.
the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Because isn't
The dude's longest home run of his career, he hit with one arm, hung over.
isn't Frank Castle, within the comic book universe, a New York native?
You would think he'd be a Yankees fan.
Does
He
not
is.
necessarily require him to be a Yankees fan.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, could be
Which-
a Mets fan.
He could be. Yeah.
Oh.
He could.
He's a
could-
badass,
He
guys.
could
Come
fucking
on.
hate New York and be a Red Sox fan.
That's he's self-hating guy.
He could just hate life and love the Red Sox.
Yeah, but what I like about John Bernthal's, and you
I'm gonna
kinda,
Google. Please continue, but
what you kind of get from like John Bernthal is like Punisher is like just laser focused, like that, like military precision. For him,
Cold, calculating.
just the mission. He's a Terminator. He's a living, breathing Terminator.
But if you shoot him, you don't get a metal exoskeleton.
Yeah.
Interesting. Real quick, in the short film Dirty Laundry,
yeah,
Thomas Jane is wearing a Yankees hat.
yeah. So that whole universe, Thomas Jane's Punisher, is so messed up. He's ruined for me.
Yeah.
That's why I liked Warzone more.
No, I love Thomas Jane Punisher. Dude follows me on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really likes westerns.
Yeah. Real quick, part of the reason why we're doing this is because I watched instead of watching episode 2 of the Daredevil show, the second season, I popped in the Thomas Jane Punisher because everyone was all hyped about the Punisher, and like the entire time I was just like, man, I really want to watch the Thomas Jane Punisher. Not because I didn't like Daredevil. I mean, I barely saw the Punisher.
Saw him for a scene.
Yeah.
Well, I guess a fight scene too.
Yeah. And like it was fine, but like I was just like, man, it's been a long time since I've watched Thomas Jane Punisher, and it's badass. I mean, there's a scene where it's Rebecca Romijn Stamos, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she's sewing up a wound of his, and she accidentally goes through the prosthetic and actually sews his skin, and he doesn't fucking flinch beyond like what his character was supposed to like, but he doesn't go, oh god, cut, I've been stabbed.
Same,
Like
same thing happened to Ving Rhames in the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. Oh,
really?
Sarah Polley actually sewed the prosthetic to his actual arm, and he doesn't break character.
nice, but yeah, like it's just, in my opinion, such a good movie. And like I got really annoyed on Facebook. Like one of my friends was like, like, oh, it's amazing that it's taken them 30 years to get a good Punisher movie. And I was like, fuck you. All 3 of them have been fine. Entertaining.
Yeah.
Even the Dolph Lundgren one is watchable.
Yeah.
I think again, the coolest thing about the Thomas Jane one for me is, like we said it a million times, that it's like the thinking man's Punisher in a sense that like he has everyone else kill themselves, and then there's that great payoff at the end where he just goes in tactical and just takes everybody out
With the bow and arrow.
in the bow and arrow.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
time he uses the knife, he uses the pistols, he uses the shotgun,
Uses cars.
uses everything.
Yeah, he makes the skull with the
Yeah.
exploding cars.
I will say, it's been a
that's
while
right.
since I've seen it. The first 20 minutes are such a weird, like where he's just like
Oh, it's
hanging out with his
undercover
family.
Oh yeah.
And doing stuff. I was just like, this is a Punisher movie. Can we get to the Punisher stuff?
Also, they kill like his entire extended family.
Yeah, like it's not just his wife and kid. It is everyone.
Yeah.
Also, I find him getting to the skull icon for his outfit in the Thomas Jane one's a little
it's
odd.
painful.
I thought it was cute.
God's gonna sit this one out, and I just want to be like, I'm gonna turn it off. I want to turn it off so bad. This one out. Although his dad is Roy Scheider, and that's fucking awesome.
I thought it was
Oh, yeah.
cute. I thought it was cute that like the reason why he did it is like, or why, like the reasoning behind the
reasoning was
skull
fine.
shirt
Yeah.
was like that it was an homage to like, this is the thing that my kid bought me the day that he died.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fuck you.
I just hated that
Yeah.
line.
But
That
God's
line's
gonna
so
sit
bad.
this one out.
But
I was like,
and then when he gets to the tactical vest at the very end, he's like, and now I'm gonna spray paint it on this.
I have to be honest, I really like superhero Punisher look, where it's like the skin tight costume and the teeth are magazines.
with
Yeah.
the white boots and the white gloves, that's the best.
Yeah.
One of the best outfits
Like-
of all time.
The fucking trench coat and shirt are fine. They're fine. But there's something just patently ridiculous that I love about the superhero Punisher outfit.
Here,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go head to toe real quick and just check off if this is what you like about Punisher. So you got kind of the not slicked back, but kind of almost the Superman black, jet black hair.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it super slick back like
Yeah.
a Widow's Peak. No,
Like
no.
flat, beat up nose, like the dude's taken a hit before.
Kind of like John Bernthal's nose.
Square jaw,
Yes.
5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
He
Like we're
doesn't
saying-
have time to shave
Yeah.
down to the skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's punishing.
Yeah. Although,
Yeah.
you would think with like the military precision that'd be part of like the gearing up for
Military
it. Like, it always
code.
bummed me out. Like,
well,
like
his K-bar can only shave so much.
yeah. And so then like this, like you're saying, the skin tight suit.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah. Massive skull in his chest.
Of course.
With the bullets as
Fat
the teeth.
skull.
Bullets his teeth.
That go all the way around.
That's
of course,
key.
right?
Bullets,
yeah.
bullets his teeth.
Like I'm talking like skin tight suit.
Oh, I want to
You know
see.
what I mean?
I want to see his nipples
Yeah,
through his. Through
you
his,
can see his nipples erect as he's firing a 45
George
caliber.
Clooney
Yeah.
style.
Okay,
Check.
so we're going down,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Massive
yes.
penis. Like
a given.
the biggest.
a
Would you
given.
say the Punisher has the biggest dick in the Marvel universe?
Well, I mean, when the
Beyond
I mean,
Galactus?
if the Hulk gets angry,
I mean, it's what he does the most.
Yeah.
If the Hulk gets horny.
Well, but
Yeah.
Jake, it's what he does the most punishing with,
Okay.
so it has to be.
Fair. So okay, because Grant Morrison has said in an interview Batman has the biggest dick in the DC universe. That makes sense. I guess.
yeah.
So
yeah,
because you don't really know what Superman's dick looks like, that thing could be a fucking
It
monster.
could be
down
a
there.
lobster, for
Yeah,
all I know.
yeah, it could be. It could be an absolute fucking
It's got pincers.
Yeah,
just
we
to
don't know what
be
Kryptonian.
Oh.
the worst looking thing
Sorry,
of all time.
Lois Lane.
Yeah.
That's why Wonder Woman is the only one that has a vagina strong enough to handle it.
No, guys, no joke. There is a web comic of like where he's taking Lois to the Fortress of Solitude, and they're about to do it, and she's like, "What the fuck is that?" It's like it's my penis. It's like, why the fuck does it have pincers? It's like, this is why you never have sex with an alien.
All right.
So you got
Yeah.
white gloves that go up halfway up the arm.
Yeah.
like the white fucking
Almost like Rubbermaid.
almost. Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
So we're back down.
Dishwashing.
Thighs
Yes.
glistening off that black.
All of it's
Skin
glistening.
tight,
All of
glistening.
it's glistening.
Wonderful calves.
Yeah, it's like oiled.
Okay, but
Yeah.
then right below the knee is the start of all white boots.
Oh yeah.
all white boots.
Yeah.
Now
Like Rawhide Kid.
Now there's no laces though.
Yeah.
Like, but they look like combat boots in the bottom. They got
Yeah.
kind of like the.
They're like Saiyan boots from
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z.
Exactly.
Which, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'll take your word on that one.
Okay.
Nerd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Really? That's where I'm
and
drawing the line.
yeah.
and
You know what program you're on?
what's your
Called
Punisher?
Geek Out,
So
not
we
Nerd Out.
we have the perfect Punisher look now. So what's your weapon of choice that he's going to be carrying in this look?
He's got a pistol, like a
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I also
like a
when he-
Desert Eagle.
I like that he has the holster that's white.
He has a holster,
Holster
that's
that's
white.
white.
He has
Mhm.
a holster that's white. That's key.
The leg holster that's white.
Yeah, because if it's not white or black,
What's
then,
the fucking point?
Yeah.
Did he get it from Nick Fury?
They do have like basically the same holster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Was it a
particular
gift from Fury?
this particular Punisher is sounding much like an agent of Shield.
Yeah.
But
Just
that's
based on
well,
outfit.
But
there's
Agents
something
of Shield don't have teeth bullets.
Yeah,
That's true.
There's something about that Punisher that is just like the coolest looking.
You see that?
Didn't he serve with Fury in one of the
I wouldn't be surprised.
continuities?
I'm sure they've done it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
fuck. Fury served with Richard and Mary Parker, so yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
I like that. Like we were talking about some of the Widows, like the Widow's Peak Punisher. There it is. Sorry,
I
he
found
just
it,
showed a
guys.
picture.
Yeah.
I like a
Chris
little.
found a
I like
picture.
a little bit of Widow's Peak, like a little bit, not like
Yeah,
super.
but he can have like almost like an evil spit
yeah,
curl.
but yeah, there's like that strand of hair in his face.
Yeah.
that he has to like move out.
Not
before he
like the
takes kill shot.
superhero spit
Yeah.
or Superman spit curl. It's like the evil.
Yeah, it like falls in
This
front. He
is
just
kind
pushes
of a
it out of the
sexy
way.
picture.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wait, hang on, let me see.
So big
Oh,
dick.
shit. But here's the thing too. I love the look of the Punisher Noir, where they have the Death Head skull mask
Yeah.
that Nathan Edmondson put back into use in his Punisher run
in the mainstream.
in the
version.
mainstream comic that I loved. I remember I asked him on Twitter one time because when I was reading the Nathan Edmondson run, and I was like, "Hey, I really love the Death Head skull. Like, please tell me that's going to be in more of the run." And he wrote back to me. He was like, "Ask nicely." And so then I made this like super long Punisher, like, Pluty Prees on the top of, blah, 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 with spent bullet shells and, grenade fragments, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, deal. Or like, okay. And then he basically wore it the rest of the time. Granted, the Punisher Noir. And also, I'm pretty sure the ends of the bullet have skulls on them. There's a shot where you're looking down the revolver.
Yeah. If you're
unload.
looking for like primo Punisher, like read the first Greg Rucka run where he's basically a supporting character in his own comic. Like people are like like he's like almost an urban legend. Like whenever he shows up, everybody just fucking dies.
That's a great way to
Yeah.
help introduce a character, which first episode kind of does.
Yeah. Again, almost like a Terminator. Just going through like the hospital, just like oh fuck.
Yeah.
He takes that dude out and just throws the gun in the trash can.
Yeah. Of course, Garth Ennis. I think huge Punisher writer. Huge. So yeah, there's a lot of good Punisher stuff out there. If you're looking to wet your whistle after Daredevil season 2, those would be the two writers I think to really start. Matt Fraction wrote a arc of the Punisher, of Sex Criminals fame.
Did you know that Norman Reedus has played the Punisher?
He voiced the Punisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know that until I was looking up Punisher.
The
things.
animated films, right?
It says here Iron Man: Rise of the Technovore.
Yep, the animated films on Netflix.
Okay. I don't know if there's more. It just gives me one credit here. That's why I'm clarifying that.
Yeah, I have to say, anytime that the Punisher has shown up in those animated films and Tony Stark is there, the very first thing he does is shoot Tony in the head when he's wearing the suit, just to make sure he's still bulletproof there.
just checking.
Yeah, he's like, glad to see you're still bulletproof, Tony.
Yeah, it's Punisher's cool.
Yeah, I mean, he gives lip to every single superhero he run across, and it's like, he very well knows, like, yeah, these guys could kill me, no sweat at all, but it's like, fuck them, I'm the goddamn Punisher.
The last arc of this, to kind of, again, wet your whistle, the last arc of Greg Rucka's Punisher run is basically the Avengers as an entirety versus the Punisher.
Nice.
So, and of course, he gives them a run for their money. Cause
you were saying like one of your all-time favorite Punisher runs or Punisher stories is the Punisher Born.
It's the only one I don't have.
Yeah.
It's the arc where you see in the Max verse he ages in real time like Dredd, and so that means he was always a Vietnam vet. In the current Marvel universe, they updated it so he's a Gulf War vet instead of a Vietnam vet.
I feel like there's a nod to that in Daredevil. That you, I don't know. It's in episode 3. So
in episode, in episode 3, he's like,
vet.
I was like he meets a Vietnam vet, and he's like, Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if like I don't know if they've ever said specifically what unit Frank served with in Vietnam, like but
fighting third.
So then, the guy that he talks to is from the fighting third. So I feel like that was a nice little connection there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the Daredevil series, he has been Pakistan, Iraq, and Afghanistan.
Technically, we can't talk about Pakistan.
Yeah,
U.S. military doesn't go in Pakistan, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying what they do in the
Marvel
universe.
I mean, granted, we're talking about a fictional character.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying.
No.
There's a lot of places the American military goes to that they don't officially go to.
Yeah, but no, I mean,
fictional characters and all.
We're again
real and fictional.
The Daredevil season again, just hitting it on all cylinders. Just really fucking.
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone who had any complaints about how the first one was like a really, really slow burn, just don't worry about it. Like, if you even stopped with the first season, just start up the second one because it gives you like about a minute to 2 minute long trailer and then kicks right into the new season.
Yeah, it's some sweet stuff.
I think the slow burn really is what made the first season great.
And there's still plenty of fucking action.
Oh,
it does, but there were there had to have been some people that were just turned off by it.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
I played Pokken Tournament a couple nights ago, which is basically the Wii U's Tekken by way of Pokemon, or Pokemon by way of Tekken. Not that great. I wouldn't pick it up. I wouldn't throw money at it.
Really?
Yeah, it's a 3D fighter, not like a 2D, and those can kind of, if they're not handled well. I mean, it's okay, but I wouldn't buy it at full price. I would get it for like, if it ever became like a Nintendo Select for like $20, I would pick it up.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Sorry, I just realized I started playing a video game. Like, I actually have. I never really play video games that much anymore. I bought Shadows of Mordor for $8.
Oh,
New.
co-written by our.
And so, luckily, I've only played maybe an hour of it, so I haven't been killed by an orc yet, or like they haven't been talking shit to me yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure as I go on, it'll get a little more difficult. Pretty cool game. Pretty cool. I mean, like, it's just it's got like kind of the Arkham, dodge, run around / cut, bow and arrows. It's fun. Again, I'm not as big of a Lord of the Rings guy, so I don't really like. There's not as much of like, I'm in the Lord of the Rings universe as much as like, say, probably like Sam or somebody who was a big Lord of the Rings guy. But it's still really fun, and it's for $8. I mean, Jesus, it's a steal. Even the guy at Walmart was like, "This is $8." Like,
I wonder what's different in the 360 version than the Xbox One version.
I don't know.
Graphics?
Is it just graphics?
Yeah, I'd have to say it's
no,
probably
it's better just because it's on the 360.
graphics.
I finally purchased the second Blade movie. So now I have all three. In fact, I went in and bought just like a Blu-ray set of all three of them.
And just like the Punisher, it has Norman Reedus.
Yeah. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot that it has Norman Reedus. I remembered Ron Perlman, but like I was like, Norman fucking Reedus.
Donnie Yen too.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Ip Man himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's my favorite.
When does Ip Man 3 come out again? Is that
soon? Comes out in mid-April.
But when does it come on Vudu?
Probably early April.
When does it come on Laserdisc?
Probably never.
You picked up some big time Laserdisc.
I did. That'll be a tease for the next
fair enough.
episode that we're recording for Laserdisc, because I want to make a big announcement, and I want Ken to be there to get excited with me.
Fair enough.
Oh.
But yes, I made a big purchase for my birthday. It was my birthday to me, and fitting that it'll be my birthday episode of Laserdisc.
Also, I obviously won't say what it is, but I remember I texted you like, "Did you get it?" And you wrote back, "I did." And then I don't know if it's autocorrect, but you were supposed to say "motherfucker," but the autocorrect said "Mickey Ficky."
Oh no, that was intentional.
That was okay. Good.
Yeah. That's a reference.
I figured that was like, I thought that might have been just a quick autocorrect thing, because it was like really
no,
late after the bar.
I actually had to type it out.
Okay, good.
because my phone did not appreciate Ficky.
I guess that would have been.
But no, that's a reference to the made-for-TV edit of the movie Tremors.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking about Tremors recently, because like I want to watch the first one again. It's one of the coolest movies.
If you watch like the TNT, or the USA version of it, at least one time, one of the guys says "motherfucker," but on the TV show it's Mickey Ficky.
Kevin,
it's just my group of friends that like loved that movie, like would laugh about it.
Oh, that's funny. I like that and Melon Farmer from Evil Dead, like when Mia kills the whatever demon monster thing. But no, I was reading about Tremors recently, because it's been a while since I watched it. I feel like that's a Laserdisc movie to have. But
it probably would be.
Kevin Bacon supposedly like broke down after that movie and was like, "I'm making like he was like super bummed out, like his career was over. And he's like,
really?
"I'm making monster movies," and like now obviously he wants to like go back into the Tremors universe.
Yeah. I know that they've been talking about doing another one.
They made a fifth one like fairly recently.
Yeah, they had a TV series for a while too.
Oh yeah, the TV series.
But the first one's just really like it's the first one is a really good way of showing like kind of like the B monster movie with like kind of the Jaws thing, like really ways to show you the monsters, but just this idea of you're not safe just walking around, and just the little kind of things. And
actually, now I really want to rewatch Tremors.
It's a great movie. It's a really, really,
I'm gonna see
really good movie.
How much the Tremors is on Laserdisc.
The Tremors.
Because
have you seen the Tremors?
Because I haven't owned a copy of Tremors since HD DVD.
Oh,
which is no longer supported by Xbox 360. Fuckers shouldn't have updated, but I didn't know.
God bless you, Format Wars. Can't wait for the next one.
Bastards in a basket.
For anyone that doesn't remember, HD DVD was what came out at the same time as Blu-ray, and you fuckers let Blu-ray win.
Yeah. Fuckers, I'm back.
I'm back, bitches.
I'm better. I'm back.
And the New
Superman's
York
back.
It's back.
It's great.
I saw the Hateful Eight, the Roadshow version of it, for the third time.
Where did you see it? Is it still at AFI?
No, they brought it back for a 1 week only thing, I guess, in advance of the DVD release, which comes out next week.
Ooh, $10 after shipping.
That was kind of them.
Yeah.
Because it was like a thing of where, like, once it was gone, that was it, fuckers.
Yeah, and the version, at least, that they're initially releasing is just the general release version.
Yeah, because they're like, we don't know how we can get away with releasing the Roadshow version to the general public.
Well, they keep the aspect ratios that they did for the Roadshow version, but it's like with the 70 millimeter aspect ratios.
Fingers crossed that knowing Quentin Tarantino being the person that he is, Roadshow version only available on Laserdisc.
Oh,
that'd be funny.
Yeah.
I would do some shit like that if I
that power.
If I had that power. And as Kanye says, no one man should have that.
It's true.
Power.
It's
but
true.
as like a true idiot asking, how would you show, like, what kind of television size would you need to properly show that?
You could show it on this 16:9. It would just have black bars at the top and bottom.
Oh, okay.
Like when I watched,
to get away with not having that.
Oh, then you would have to have something a lot wider.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like when I watched the Dark Knight, it's my screen is 16:9. Dark Knight is presented in 235:1, except for the IMAX scenes, which on my screen are 16:9, which still isn't the same aspect ratio.
But it fills the entire frame for the
Yeah.
IMAX sequences.
Yeah, but so you don't have to. You're not committed to the aspect ratio of the TV. You're just if you don't have a TV that's the right, quote unquote, right aspect ratio,
Then
you're stuck at having the
Fuck
black
'em.
bars at the top or top and bottom or left and right, depending on what aspect ratio. Like half of my laser discs, if I watch them, in their proper format, they're going to have bars on the left and right. Actually, all of them, because all of them are designed for 4x3 TVs. So even the widescreen movies that I have, to see them in the way that they were intended to be presented, they're going to have black bars on all four sides.
Yeah.
Unless it's a full frame.
Yeah,
movie.
it's like when you got widescreen movies on tape, you would have the black bars.
Mhm. And my TV is just smart enough that I can hit one button and it stretches it to the point where it fills the screen properly to 16:9.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So you would do the same thing with the Roadshow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
The thing, it was marketed as the. It wasn't marketed as the Roadshow. It was just like the Hateful Eight, and they even had on Fandango they had the runtime of the general release, so it was like 20 minutes shorter. And I was like, well, I guess this is as good as it's gonna get. So me and my dad, because I figured this would be the most dad-friendly Tarantino film. Big West, yeah.
Watching a dude suck another dude's dick.
Yeah.
Nothing that my dad loves more.
Like father, like son. But
I wonder if my dad still listens to these shows.
you find out.
You'll find out after
Yeah,
this
right.
episode.
He hasn't talked to me recently about it.
Okay.
I
But
guess we haven't disappointed him.
yeah. So yeah,
He's like, I hate.
Stop that today.
Yeah.
He's like, I hate the Punisher with the white gloves and boots. He
And
looks
the
like a
big
Nancy
dick.
boy.
But the
Pee-wee's Big Adventure was the worst thing to ever come out of Tim Burton's mind. Also, Tim Burton's first studio movie.
yeah. That's why he cast him as Oswald Cobblepot's parents in
Yep.
Batman Returns. But so yeah, it turns out we're sitting there in the theater. We get just two trailers, like the Roadshow would, and then it goes into the overture. Like the screen turns red and says "fucking overture" on the screen. And I was like, oh shit. And like it actually, intermission and all that. And of course, like during the intermission, he was like, "Oh man, what a note to end it on like Samuel L. Jackson getting his dick sucked." It was just like, "Wow, this is intense." I was like, "Yeah, it's intense." And then after the end credits roll, he wanted to stick around because Roy Orbison's one of his favorite singers, and of course, Roy Orbison's "There Won't Be Many Coming Home" is the last song that plays in the film. He's like, "Stick around for the Orbison." He's like, "Man, that sure wasn't the Sound of Music," because he's used to like. I think that's the only film he saw in theaters that has like the built-in intermission and the overture and everything on the programs. But it was I will say the only thing I noticed this time that I didn't notice the first two times I saw the film. This is the first time I saw the film knowing that the guitar that Kurt Russell smashes in the film is a guitar from the 1870s.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess in the Roadshow version, Jennifer Jason Leigh messes up playing the guitar, but plays anyway. She like goes and continues again. What she does when she messes up is she looks off camera at, I presume, where Quentin Tarantino is, like, am I cool to keep going? And then, keeps going. And when Kurt Russell smashes the guitar, which is over 100 years old, she looks, off camera towards, again, where Quentin Tarantino is, like, what the fuck? Because he didn't know that he was smashing something older than the combined age of the cast,
Mm-hmm. And then they got in a lot of trouble for that.
Yeah, now Martin won't let
Martin's done loaning guitars.
Yeah, to movie productions. So
Live and learn.
it was for art.
Yeah.
But no, it's a fun movie. I still enjoy it. I still like it. I still like it a lot.
That's like 9 hours of
Of
Hateful
my
Eight.
life that dedicated to the Hateful Eight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost as bad as the 2 hours I spent dedicated to The Good Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like I'm the most lenient on The Good? Because I'm still like, if it's ever on sale for like $10,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like
I would pick it up for $10.
for the most part we have like similar taste in movies, but this year I feel like there was at least, I wouldn't say Good Dinosaur we were like different on. Like we still
Spectre and Hateful Eight.
Spectre and Hateful Eight was like the first time I think we really were kind of on the opposite ends. Like Civil War. But yeah, the Hateful Eight was more of like over time I was like I really don't like that movie. Where Spectre was like, I remember that was some of the thing we left the movie. First of all, I thought you, like I said before, I thought you had left because you were so
In disgust.
as a fellow Bond fan, like just so in disgust. And in my head, I was like, I don't blame him. And then it got up, and you were just like, pretty good. And I remember I was like, And then I got outside, and I was like, S. Because I remember they kept saying like, you know, you were like the C. I mean, he's like, you know, C stands for, and we were all like, oh. And then I was like, S stands for shit. I was like, I was not a fan of Spectre, but
still have not seen
I don't think it's shit. Really, but yeah, that was like the first time I can remember two movies that we were very divisive on. Who knows? Maybe Batman and Superman will be the same.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Maybe
Although I feel like
yes.
even
Civil
after
War.
Amazing
What
Spider-Man
was it?
2,
War.
I remember after Amazing Spider-Man 2, we saw it at different theaters.
Yeah, at the same time.
And yeah, you had sent me a thing, and you were like, far from a train wreck, because I remember we had talked to someone who was like, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is an absolute train wreck. I feel like I'm like Chris in this sense where like I fucking love Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah.
What anyone says.
I
What
like
was
it.
it?
People
Sally Fields come out and said,
Oh shit!
Yeah.
She was the trainer.
Yeah, she just like I did it for a friend. It was like her last movie. And
yeah, but
Laura
no,
Ziskin.
she said it's like a 10-pound pile of dog shit in a 5-pound bag. Her exact
Jesus.
words, and it's like,
I thought they did a fine job with
I thought
it.
she was a fine animator.
Yeah.
I thought she was
It's
good
not-
at it.
yeah.
yeah, but that was like it was the wording
It's not
she
like it's
used to
Spider-Man 3.
describe those two films that she was in. It's like they weren't Spider-Man 3. You know, they weren't that bad.
I like Spider-Man 3 more than the Amazing Spider-Man.
Ooh.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I've seen both films. Yeah.
Again,
Yeah, so
Amazing
have I.
Spider-Man has a mutated rat eating another rat that they never talk about ever again. It's just that's one of the dumbest scenes. That is like tattooed head man in Superman Returns level.
Clown Man.
Clown Man. Not
What
as
is his purpose?
I will say I'll give it to Clown Man. That scene is better than mutated rat thing eating other rat thing and Andrew Garfield going huh and then leaving and that's the end of that.
Yeah.
So that's all I gotta say about that.
Also, the lizard looks like ass.
He does look like ass.
Amazing Spider-Man 2
Peter
definitely better than Amazing
Parker.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. 100%.
Yeah. It's not. Some people, you know.
People are all about Amazing Spider-Man when that came out. I
Well,
was really
but
kinda
no,
shocked.
but yeah, they're like, oh, it's a return to form. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Form. It's like when like people saw Bridge of Spies, and good on them for seeing a movie that like seeing something in the movie that I didn't, you know. But everyone was like, this is one of the best movies of the year, and I watched it. I was like, fuck this.
You know that some of the people who said that about Bridge of Spies
didn't actually watch it.
didn't actually like it, but they were like, I want to see
The-
sophisticated.
But you know, there is one thing the Amazing Spider-Man did that instantly makes it leagues better than what the 3 original Spider-Man films did.
Web shooters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris,
Yeah.
for knowing exactly where I was going with that.
Funny Peter Parker too.
Yeah, I never got.
Yeah,
I never
Peter
got
Parker, the
super.
kids with his villains.
Oh no, a knife! My one
Oh yeah,
weakness.
no, yeah, he's a
Yeah.
boss Spider-Man.
Yeah, instead of crying all the
Yeah.
time.
I never
yeah.
was.
or looking depressed as fuck.
I was never
Crying.
super like bummed out about the web shooters. That was like never a point of like ruining it for me.
Well, I mean, the first 3 didn't have anything to go into with the brilliance of Peter Parker, which designing those web shooters was one of the defining factors of his age,
Well,
of his brilliance.
Raimi took it out and made him organic because he's like, you're supposed to identify with Peter Parker, but you can't identify with him if he's a fucking scientific genius.
Yeah.
That was the rationale.
His other thing,
Yeah,
his
which-
other.
I can identify with him being able to shoot web out of his wrist.
Well, no,
Yeah.
his other big thing was if this kid can create that kind of technology, he'd sell it and make millions and millions of dollars off it. He wouldn't become Spider-Man. Like, why would he need? He could just sell that, and that's all the money he needs to buy a car to impress Mary Jane.
Yeah, which I guess is my
Instead of
feeling
Joe
that
Manganiello.
Raimi
Oh,
didn't.
that's right, yeah.
Raimi didn't understand one of the characteristics of the
No, I think
of the character.
I think he did.
of
He
that.
just made that a thing because he's a massive Spider-Man fan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
I
just
think
something
he just
didn't
made
like.
that calculated choice.
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I think what the
It's fine to
comic
be
books.
wrong, yeah.
I think what the comic books did to make him have organic web
A
shooters
true
was
fan.
like
Yeah.
one of the stupidest
Josh
things of all
Butler's
time.
Josh Butler's Spider-Man movie.
Wasn't it like Spider-Man the Other or whatever? Like that's how he gets the organic webs in the comics. That he becomes a spider and then gives birth to himself.
He doesn't get the
And that's how he has organic web shooters.
yeah, he's also got the spikes.
That's the comic run where he starts becoming, or no, the animated run where he starts becoming a Spider-Man thing.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Six-Arm
Man Spider.
Saga?
Yeah, Man Spider.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah.
And then the Six-Arm Saga was freaking
Man
out as a kid.
Yeah, just like Danny DeVito and It's Always Sunny. I'm not
Yeah.
Spider-Man,
Yeah.
I'm Man Spider.
That's such a great... oh, they're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man. Anybody got anything else to add?
By the time this episode's gone up, I will have seen Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, the greatest battle of the century.
The greatest battle of the century.
Greatest gladiator match of the century.
Well, I think on that note, this has been another installment of Catching Up. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
Thank you very much.
Good night, Eric Bana.